main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. And I have a question about him in NFL locker rooms, because I think the Giants are a bunch of pansies. Dale Hellestrae, everybody.
The Giants being New York or San Francisco?
Well, yes. But this specific question has to do with NFL locker rooms, so I'm talking about the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Curiosity has piqued my interest. I almost called you last night to talk to you about this.
No, you don't do that.
That's how annoyed I was with what's happening there. But how you doing, Dale?
I'm doing good. Gorgeous morning. I went out for my usual, 2-mile run, and it's in the 70s, so I turned it into 2.5 miles.
Which means he rolled down his window as he drove away from his house.
And nice, cool air out there.
Me and Ethan were up by your house yesterday. I told Ethan, I said, Dale lives up here.
What were you doing up in God's country?
Landscaping. That's what we get hired to do up there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm the wrong skin color for that neighborhood to do with landscaping.
Wow.
I need a tan.
Wow.
That's my shot at the rich people.
Steve McCollum at SMAC 500.
My shot at the rich people. Who they hire. That's all that was there. I had to go pick Ethan up. He went and worked for the investment company yesterday. His first day at the investment company.
Ooh.
And had to go clean out a barn. Well, you guys know. You guys saw the excitement during the show there I had to deal with and everything. And so all that. And they were still cleaning it out at like 2 o'clock or so. So drove up there. And don't worry, it's not in your neighborhood.
I was going to say,
it's the other side of the 51.
You have a rental property up there?
I got them everywhere, man. Good.
Oh, not in our neighborhood.
We're non-discriminatory.
Not in our neighborhood.
Well, no, I wouldn't do yours because I don't want to rent to people that would rent those types of places.
Really?
They're the worst. Rich people are the worst. Don't you guys know my money thing? Second generation money is worse than first generation money.
Gosh, you are something else.
Yeah. No, thank you. I'll stick to it. As my dad calls me, a slumlord. Thanks, Dad.
Wow.
Appreciate it, Dad.
Pays the bills, doesn't it?
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes.
So we were up there. We're on the left side of the 51, Dale. So we weren't quite to you up there.
You mean the east side?
The west side.
Okay.
We remember where the Carlos O'Brien's used to be. What is that? Northern and whatever. That's 10th Street or 12th Street or whatever.
Yeah.
We're right up the road from that. Yeah. Then you get up into all those houses up on the mountains. Was that Sunny Slope? I think is what they call it. You go another mile down the road and you get all those $1 million, central and northern properties that were built like in the 20s and 30s and all that stuff. Yeah. So we're right in that area.
Okay.
Right in that area.
Okay. And so you ate at Carlos O'Brien's?
No, they tore that down years ago. Now it's a Quick Trip.
Oh, okay.
They tore that down years ago. Probably 6 or 7. I know because I went there one time. We were at the radio station. I went that way, and I ate at Carlos O'Brien's, and then they told me I didn't go there all the time, and they're like, "Oh, we're closing," and I was like, "Oh, that sucks. You guys have been here forever."
Right.
And then like a month later, I'm driving by, and they got this big bulldozer taking down the building. Huh. Now it's a Quick Trip. Progress, folks. Progress. Here's my question for you, Dale. Of course, we got Uncle Lou coming up at 9 o'clock. Dale takes off here in the bottom of the hour, and he heads over to KUPD for a hit over there as well. But here's my question for you. Jackson Dart went in, we don't get into politics here, but it's more of inside of a locker room situation. Jackson Dart goes and introduces the president at a presidential thingy over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Abdul Carter, also on the Giants, put out on Twitter, I thought this was AI, basically saying this is a joke or whatever. Then I find out yesterday that Jackson Dart had to address the team, and they had to have a conversation. Now they're all fine with it, and they're all moving on. What kind of pansy bloop 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 are you that you can't have somebody go do their personal life stuff and it doesn't affect you at all, but you're so upset your star quarterback goes to do something that you don't like that you've now got to have a meeting in the locker room to discuss it? What kind of pansy bloop, 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 bloop is this, Dale? Have you ever heard of such a thing when you were playing?
Well,
and I'm not talking about getting in trouble with the law. Obviously, Michael Irvin probably went into that locker room numerous times and was like, guys, I'm sorry. Put myself in the wrong position. It looks bad to be flagged. That probably happened. That happens. I'm talking about I went and introduced the president of the United States. That type of stuff. Not the law side of it. That type of stuff.
What's fascinating to me, obviously, number one, there was no social media back then, which
100%.
was a blessing
That is true.
beyond refute in more ways than this.
That is true.
I
didn't think of that.
With our team. The thing, again, specifically about the locker room I was in, the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
The thing that a lot of people don't understand is if you go and look at the assembling of a football team, there's 50 to 60 dudes in there.
All different walks of life.
All walks of life, all different colleges, all different hometowns, sometimes different countries. Just an onslaught of different thoughts, ideas, whatever.
Yeah. I'm willing to bet, just like like a work environment, you probably don't like what probably 3/4 of your teammates do in their private time.
I wouldn't say it's that far because you don't get along with anybody. You would not have been in
I went down to 3/4 instead of 100%.
Yeah, I know.
Because I wasn't talking about me.
But there are a lot of things and a lot of guys you didn't have anything in common with or very little in common.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah.
You have the star in your helmet as what you kind of represent. And whether it was Michael Irvin, whether it was a myriad of other guys who fell into different parts of law breaking or thought processes.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. We cared.
That's the way I look at it.
We cared Wednesday, Thursday. That was our big, heavy practice days. And we cared Sunday. And if you showed up those 3 days and you balled out,
go live your life, right?
That's all we want. Preferably not hurting the team nor yourself.
That's what I said. That's where you draw the line because then you're hurting the team and stuff like that. But if I look at it and I go, regardless of my political feelings, whether it be Obama, whether it be Clinton, go introduce the president if you have that opportunity. I'm not going to make you come back to the locker room and go, well, you need to apologize to me.
No, because I would
never think of doing that.
Here's the thing that there is a correlation to the Jackson Dart thing. Okay. We win our first Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We get invited to the White House.
And that was Clinton?
Bill Clinton.
Yeah. Before the scandal or after the scandal? I don't remember when that was.
But there's already things going on.
Okay. Did you meet Monica?
He was not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
Some guys liked him. Some guys were non-committal, and other guys did not like him.
Yeah.
Not one person said, I'm not going because Clinton's in office.
But even if they did do that, that's one thing. But then saying, you guys are going, well, we need to have a discussion about this.
Well, what I was going to say is that, or we're going to have a team meeting to see if we're going to go or not. What.
It's pansy.
The way we looked at it, we were a team, number one. Number two, how many opportunities do you get to meet whoever is in that office? It's the president. Office.
Yeah.
And
I was not a Bill Clinton fan, and I met him. He came out here to Arizona State and did a thing over at Gamage, and I met him in that instance and everything. I wasn't a fan of the guy. I didn't really care about him, but I was just like, dude, what are you doing with that poor girl? Stuff. But I met him, and I'm happy I met him. I'm going to go hang out with the guy.
It's not just that poor girl.
All the poor girls.
Anyways, I digress. This is much to do about nothing, but here's the thing.
They made it about something.
And now here's the thing with Jackson Dart. There will be eyes on him. If he goes out and balls out opening weekend and
you think so?
Giants, this is all gone.
I don't know. The younger generation are a bunch of pansies.
I would hope not. While I tend to lean towards what you say, at the end of the day, winning is
I mean, if I was Jackson Dart, I would look at them, Abdul Carter and everybody that has a problem with it, and I'd be like, all right, let's criticize your life, what you're doing that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Let's bring that up right now.
No,
like who does that?
And here's the other thing. As soon as that tweet, I guess, or X post came out.
From Carter.
Yeah.
Who, by the way, Jackson Dart's younger than him in terms of years in the league, but Jackson Dart's here's the other side. Jackson Dart's the star, not Abdul Carter.
Now, Abdul Carter's a pretty good football player.
He is, but he's not Jackson Dart in terms of the eyes of the fan base and the eyeballs on him and stuff to that effect.
My whole thing is, if in fact it bothered you that much, why is the first thing you think of doing going and posting something for everybody to see instead of picking up the phone and dialing a number? Yeah. And if you don't have his number, call somebody else who has his number.
That would tell you something if he doesn't have his number.
And say, hey, let's just sit down for a few minutes, and I want to tell you my side.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll discuss it like grown men.
That's what I'm getting at. You can be upset if you want to.
Which is stupid.
I agree with you, but you can be upset. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. But to take to this level where they had to have a meeting yesterday and hash it out to move on is the most chicken bleep, 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 bleep thing on my mind. I couldn't get enough expletives out of my mouth when I saw that yesterday. It is absolute garbage that happened. And it tells me the mindset in that locker room if they're that fragile. That a guy went and introduced somebody that you don't like. And it's now if you went in and introduced, whatever latest serial killers out. Oh, here's Charles Manson. I'm going to introduce him. That's a different story. You have a conversation about that. I just don't get it, man. But it's just I was trying to decide if I was going to attack the whole younger generation and their sensitivities. Well, but it's not just the younger generation. There's a bunch of old people. There's a bunch of old people with that same attitude. Oh, my God, how dare you shake that guy's hands? And it's just stupid. It's just stupid, the world we live in. But I was more curious on the locker room side because for that to possibly tear a locker room up is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of.
So, it's kind of interesting you mentioned this. Not funny because on the golf course yesterday, a couple things were said, and guy hit a bad shot, said something, and one of the other guys go, well, I think that God probably has more important things on his mind than your missed putt. and I said to the guy who said that, I said, well, what are you saying? He's thinking about your golf game instead of the other guy's golf game, and he made a comment about Trump.
Of course.
And I just looked at him. I said, I'm not going to get into it with you out here on the golf course. I don't agree with you. You don't agree with me. We'll leave it at that. Yeah. We can still have fun golfing.
Yeah. Hit that damn ball. Let's go.
I know,
but that guy was waiting for you to respond so an argument could happen on the golf course, and it makes me angry that happens.
It was very interesting. But when you're on a team, any sports team, I would say probably any finance team, any group of people, you have an issue, you talk about it.
Yeah, you just bring it up. Yes. Like he goes into the locker room and goes, "Hey, man, just so you know, like
that kind of bothers me.
I feel like the president's a racist or whatever you want to say about it, and everything. So I just think that judge." He goes, "Okay, well, I appreciate your thoughts and I'll take that into consideration. But I had the chance to meet the president of the United States and introduce him. It's a high honor, so I went and did it. And if he doesn't like it, oh well." Yeah. But I just get the impression with the way it went down, where I could see. I hate to single out Abdul Carter, but I could see somebody going into the coaches and being like, "If it's him or me, I'm not playing with the guy that has that attitude."
Yeah, see, I don't think it got to that point. It's just
I'm telling you, people turn crazy. Like
unnecessary distraction for a team that's trying to rebuild.
That's my other point. And then, what kind of guts do you have with a new head coach if you're Abdul Carter? Where, like I said. I would actually be viewing it differently if it was like Jackson Dart going after Abdul Carter. Because Jackson Dart, as I said, whether you like it or not, your quarterback has more eyeballs than the defensive end. I don't care how good you are. Phil Simms always had more eyeballs on him than Lawrence Taylor, and Lawrence Taylor was the better player, in terms of media and stuff to that effect. And quarterbacks always have it. I just feel like, why are you doing that to your quarterback why are you trying to cut the legs out from underneath your quarterback in a football season? That's the other way I viewed it.
Well,
What's your method behind that to where you're going, he shouldn't have done that, and he's a garbage human being for introducing him? And then you're trying to turn your teammates against him?
Well, it will be interesting to see if this is the end of this or if this continues to fester. Now,
They said they put it aside. They had the conversation.
From what I've read, Abdul Carter's come out and said, "Hey, I've talked to him. We're good." And if that's happened, great. Let's stop hearing about it.
Yeah, like Dale, if I saw you on TV today and you were introducing or talking to somebody that I'm like, that guy's a dirtbag.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't even know if I'd bring it up to you. I'd just be like, hey,
no, you put it on Twitter. You gotta look at
I would.
Dummy Dale up
now
there.
you guys see the real Dale.
the Dale.
I don't even know if I brought it up, it would be more in terms of, hey, what was it like meeting him? What's he really like? What's this stuff? Like, give me that info more than, even if I didn't agree with it. I just don't get this younger generation. And that's what led me to you. Like, I almost picked up the phone and called you yesterday because I was going to be like, all right, has this ever happened in your life?
And again, I had the opportunity to shake Bill Clinton's hand. Yeah. I have a picture in my office with Bill Clinton at the White House.
Yeah. Whether you like the guy or not, he was the president.
I got one opportunity to go.
Yeah.
First and last.
I know.
And happened to be Clinton in that office. And if we would have won this year, it'd have been Trump in that office. And I shook his hand, too.
The first guy that I remember thinking was a piece of garbage for not going to the president was Mark Chimura. It turned out that guy was a piece of garbage.
Gosh, that's the name.
And for the Packers.
Hot
he was like the first one that was like, I'm not going to the White House because I don't want to be around the president.
Whoever it was.
Yeah, I think it was Clinton, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But I remember he was the first one where I was like, what a whiny little biatch. And it turned out.
Well, he had a jacuzzi to take.
Yeah, it turns out he was Epstein before Epstein. Yeah. Apparently. There you go. Name from the past there for you.
Yeah.
I can answer random Mark Chimura. Mark Chimura. Well, you can't tell me Brett Favre didn't know what he was. That they were best friends. But we can digress on that.
You have digressed.
Robert says the NBA would have shut down after the entire league, and that's kind of what I was thinking too. Robert was like, they had to go into an NFL locker room during OTAs to have a discussion because a guy introduced a president of the United States before a rally and stuff like that. And I hate to say this to you, Dale. I'm going to be a little biased here. I don't know Jackson Dart. Never met him. I've met Cam Scatteraboo. I've talked to Cam Scatteraboo. I don't know his political stuff. I'm just telling you, looking at both of these two dudes, they are Trump supporters beyond belief. So why are you surprised if you're Abdul Carter that they're at that rally? Like, I just assume they're running around with red hats. So why would you even be upset about it? It's not like, oh, I didn't know you. Oh, I didn't know that about you. Like, how do you not know this about these two guys? It's pretty obvious in my eyes which way they go in the political spectrum. That's the other thing. It's just like, what is happening? But look at the Giants ruining a locker room and OTAs. One side thing on the weekend, especially on a holiday weekend.
That's your team, Steve.
I know. I got the Giants have had a lot of people ruin their franchise over the years. That drives me nuts. But they've also had some greatness roll through there. And it's just like I just keep looking at him, and I just can't help but think that Harbaugh this is going to be like Jimmy Johnson going to the Dolphins.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, I just think this is going to we're gonna look back and be like Giants have won 3 games in the last 2 years.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah, I just don't know, man.
Well,
I got a bad feeling about it. I got a bad feeling about it.
The one thing that is starkly different is the fact that when Jimmy went to Miami,
he was on his boat the whole time.
No, they had an aging quarterback in Dan Marino.
Well, no, I'm being harsh. It's not going to be that bad. But the Giants aren't going to become Super Bowl contenders in the next 3 to 4 years.
So at the end of last year, you're talking about Dart and Cam Scatteraboo like they were the next Aikman, Emmitt Smith.
I know, and I just have a bad feeling about her. I don't like coaches. I don't like coaches that were settled into a place and very, very comfortable there, going to another franchise because that comfort. He even lost Mulkin, who's going to screw up the Cleveland. Good thing his offensive coordinator went to the Cleveland Browns because he's going to screw them up worse than anything. That guy is not going to know what to do there in Cleveland. So at least he lost him, so he can like kind of blame it on him a little bit. But I'm worried about the comfortability side. I see his press conferences, man, and he's just smiling, and I just feel I just get this weird vibe from him where he's not focused like he was for a while. So yeah. Robert says, you just know the Jets are like, how did the Giants upstage us?
Yeah, they're mad. How come we don't have any controversy?
Yeah, no, watch out for the Jets locker room today then, coming up from that side. But I don't know. It's just, like I said, politics aside, I just don't get why people get so upset. And like I said, if it was Jackson Dart went out and got a DUI, got arrested for something, like Josh Jacobs, got arrested, but then they haven't charged him with anything yet.
I thought he was arrested on charges.
No, they never charged him. They had to let him out of jail. They let him out of jail.
Well, they gave him a bond.
No, I thought I saw his lawyer's statement saying no charges were filed as of yet, which means they're still investigating. Which means the police arrested him because they thought they had enough, and the DA went, "You don't have enough. You got to get more." Probably. No, his lawyer said no charges.
I just assumed that he was given bail.
Yeah,
paid the bail.
How do you handle that if no charges are against him and he walks into the locker room?
Well, then your teammate got screwed.
Well, that's the thing, right? He comes in and, you were part of that.
Yeah.
My favorite, I've told many people this story because people are like, because I tell people, he's really good friends with Michael Irvin. Like,
yeah,
really good friends with him. And I go, they had nothing in common, man. Nothing. They are nothing in common.
No, a kid from Scottsdale, Arizona, and another guy from South Miami.
He still likes to have a good time afterward. You like to go home to the family. I'm like, they have nothing in common. I go, but they're best friends, man. I go, I've been there when they've seen each other. I go, and it's like best buds, and I'd act as security that day. It was a good day.
You did. You got a picture, too, didn't you?
Shoving people out. Yeah, that's because I felt bad for him. He really wanted one with me. I felt bad.
Somehow, some way, Steve got into this, didn't he? Hey, I've got a short period of time, and you are not. You're not going to shoo me away without spending the prerequisite amount of time.
You want to talk ASU football start times coming up? You want to talk Carolina taking the 3-1 lead last night? NBA gets underway again tonight. Spurs,
is it over? Is it over tonight?
I think it's over. I don't think the Spurs. Wemby had a bad game the other night, and I think that's just a precursor.
You don't think he's going to come out gangbusters?
I'll put it this way.
Last stand?
I'll put it this way. I don't think it matters if he does or not.
Alamo's last stand.
The refs have started calling it the Thunder's way. We talked about that at the beginning of the season, or the beginning of this series, where the refs are calling. Not even touched, and they're calling fouls on them and things to that effect. I got a feeling tonight's the night the Thunder close this out, which isn't an indictment of the Spurs. They're probably a year early with their age. But I can tell you this, you expect the Spurs Thunder to be a battle for the next, 3, 4, 5 years coming up?
Well, here's my whole thing. I was talking to a couple friends who, one of them's from Oklahoma City, another one loves Oklahoma City, just discussing basketball, and I said, here's the thing about Oklahoma City in my mind. Last year, in my mind, they were a ton of fun to watch. Mm-hmm. All these people that you barely even heard of, you kind of were getting to know SGA.
And they were flopping and doing all that last year, too.
But it was the first year of doing it. Yeah. And now, it's like if somebody has a nervous twitch, and you don't notice it, you just go along with life, but somebody goes, look at his eye when you're talking.
Exactly.
It's just like you can't look away. But now I can't unwatch the flopping.
I can't stand it. I actually, a good thing I don't run the NBA because their directive would be Spurs win the next 2 games.
Well, at least tonight for a game 7.
Well, just so we don't have to watch the Thunder do their antics.
And start officiating and calling it like the league wants you to where if there's a flop, call a technical on it.
I know. There's a rule in place on that.
Call
and
it
after
technical.
the game, they're supposed to be fined, and after X amount of flops, they're supposed to be suspended. So I'm leaning. I want the Spurs to win tonight. I hope they do, but I'm leaning toward this. This gets closed out tonight. You have how great of a story is the Knicks? First of all, Governor of New York, if you're going to attack the president, Know the year you're talking about. Clown. What a lady. Forget about the politics side. She embarrassed herself. If you didn't see it, because Trump said he was a lifelong Knicks fan. So her response was, ask him about the 1997 championship team.
No, 1993.
Oh, 1993 championship team. Tell him to name players on that.
Yeah.
Problem is, Knicks haven't won a championship since 73.
73.
Yeah. And she was so proud of herself when she said it. I love when politicians who know nothing about sports try to dig people on that.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. Robert says, embellishment's a good rule, but you can't call a foul, penalty, and embellishments. It's one or the other. Well, that's my point. Like, hockey does it great. You embellish in hockey, you don't get the penalty. You actually go to the penalty box.
Right. And that's
they'll blow the whistle, and then they'll go, you're going. You're faking it.
The NBA has that in the rule book. That
they've modified it since they did it, but it's still a penalty. It still could be.
And all it would take would be 1 or 2 times.
Oh, absolutely.
Beat technical foul, San Antonio shooting free throws.
Especially early in the game.
Oklahoma City will lose their mind, but guess what? They change.
Because I don't even think like finding them after the game. Well, you're getting fined $20,000 for flopping during this game, and they'd be like, "All right, take my check because we won. Who cares? You got to do it during the game. It's unwatchable. The Thunder are unwatchable. I hate to say it. I might be rooting for the Knicks in this final, just for the heck of it.
All right, you can carry on more about all that nonsense when I leave here shortly.
I don't know. That's all there is to talk about, Dan. We got Lou coming up at 9 o'clock.
About the number 1 wild card team in the National League, none other than Steve's Arizona Diamondbacks.
We can talk about the Diamondbacks. I thought you were going to bring up a certain player on there that got something yesterday, kind of important.
Yeah, well, I mean, Paul Sewald, congratulations, 100 save in his career.
How many of those were with the Diamondbacks?
I mean, 200 is going to be probably coming in within the next 3 years, the way that he's rocking and rolling. But his 14th save.
Imagine what his save numbers would be if he didn't have a meltdown 2 years ago.
And imagine what you would look like if you didn't go bald 10 years ago.
Oh,
we're
even more sexier
now.
than I look now. That's why I went bald. They were like, "You're too good looking. We got to make you lose your hair." How many of those saves of the 100 were in the Diamondbacks? I know this stat off the top of my head.
I have no idea.
43. Almost half of them.
Yeah, and counting.
No, there's no doubt. You're not taking him out of that closer role when he's doing this. He's going to be an all-star, Dale.
Soroka.
Him and Miller from San Diego are going to be your closers.
But which starting pitchers are going to go? Soroka's 7-2.
I know.
3.25 ERA. I never heard of him before this year.
Erod and Soroka got to be the leaders if you're going to look at that, more so than Kelly and Gallen.
Kelly and Gallen have no chance.
That's my point. When they're being upstaged by those two guys.
I mean, what a run they're on. And again, on the golf course yesterday, somebody said the exact. I go, hold on, are you related to Steve McCollum?
You have to tell people what he said because you told me before the show. But
we were on the golf course because the game was going on while we were golfing, and somebody had on their phone, Diamondbacks are down 2-0, blah blah blah. And, they came back and now they got the lead and. I go, they are just rocking and rolling. What some guy, he's just got a sour attitude like you. He's like, yeah, but who are they playing? Last I checked, the Giants are in the major leagues.
Barely, though. Barely,
you're so ridiculous.
Wow. They might get relegated.
Wow.
They might be the first team to get relegated here coming up.
You are so ridiculous.
First time the Diamondbacks have ever been 9-0 on a season against the Giants.
Are they that good?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, they're 9-0. They've beaten the Giants 2 sweeps, or 3 sweeps against the Giants this year. Yeah.
Giants have won 22 games.
Yeah.
They're not going to finish with 30 wins this season. They're going to win 60, 70 games.
Same thing with Colorado.
Yeah,
unless they fall apart, that's what I mean. They're not, but the Diamondbacks are better than both of these teams. Like I said, they're probably better than Seattle right now as well, and that's their next 3 opponents coming up, over the next 3 days and things like that. But you're doing what you're supposed to. Like I said, the alternative is you're not beating the teams you're supposed to be beating. We're all having other heart attacks and stuff. But it's not just that though. It's this team as a whole. Is just jiving. No matter what, it's like whatever they do, it works.
Yeah.
Even when guys have bad days, it just works for some reason. It's like,
Well, I didn't get to see it because we were on the
Yeah,
golf
you're
course. But there in the ninth inning, I saw something down in the cart barn where a pop fly was between the third baseman and the left fielder,
Fernandez,
and then proceeds to throw the guy out at home because the Giants made a blunder.
Giants lead the Major League. At least they did as of like last week. They lead the Major League Baseball in errors.
Yeah,
It's not even close. No, it's fantastic. I mean, the young kids coming up are just untouchable right now. Sewell did give up in ERA, though. His ERA is ballooned up to 3.98, Dale. Ballooned up. As opposed to Ohtani, who has a .082 ERA right now after last night.
Yeah, and Ohtani's going to make $1 billion over the next 15 years. Huh, interesting.
I'm going to have to start touting Sewell's charity here. I'm enjoying watching him play so much.
Hey,
in all seriousness, if you're interested in that, look that up. That is for a great cause. His emotion when he was doing that, talking about it and stuff, was just amazing. Now you got to root for the guy. One, because you got to root for this. He did the thing we love the most about sports. We were just booing this guy. We wanted him off the team. We wanted him out of the country 2 years ago because he was just losing starts. And poor guy kept getting saves, and Torrey just kept throwing him out there and letting him out to the wolves and blowing him again and blowing him again and blowing him again. And we were all just like, get rid of the loser. Get rid of the clown. And he's worked his way back now, and he's pitching this way. How do you not root for this? This is what we watch sports for, is this story. Then he starts a charity, and it makes you tear up a little bit when he talks about it with his wife.
And then...
Policy, why are you so likable? Because when you start to pitch bad, man, I'm going to feel bad rooting against you again.
Just unbelievable. Enjoy it while it's going on.
I'm enjoying
it's going to come to an end.
It's got baseball. It's going to.
I mean, how about the Cubs? They finally won one. After winning 12 in a row.
They won. They've had 10+ game winning streaks this year. 2 of them.
And they just went on a 10, 11 game.
And they have a 9-game losing streak or a 10-game losing streak on top of it. Yeah, first team ever Major League Baseball to have 2 10-win-plus streaks. And then I have a 10-game losing streak on top of it as well, whatever it is, 9, 10 games and stuff like that. No, it's just absolutely fun. They got Seattle now. Seattle's beatable coming up for the next 3 as well. Today off, though. Then Seattle tomorrow for 3. At Seattle, man, but like I said, yeah, were you here yesterday I talked about this? Ketel Marte, look, he's smiling out there now, Dale. He's running balls out. He's running around the bases. He's pimping a little bit when he makes big plays and stuff like that. And it's just like the team, him and Carroll. To me, Carroll's the linchpin of this team. But when Marte's like this, you just get that extra energy from this team and everything. And my biggest problem is when things are going bad, he's not doing that stuff, which encapsulates him, man. He needs to have this attitude even when things aren't going well for the team, man. You could just see the difference here between these guys as well. But 9 out of 10 here. I think they went 13-2 on this.
11-2.
11-2 is what it was.
I think it was a
13 against
game
them.
deal.
I mean, it's nice that the Major League Baseball, like, you're going to play the same 2 teams forever for the rest of your life. It could have been worse. It could have been Dodgers, Yankees for 13 in a row or something. That's fun. I'm enjoying it. Off day today. I'm kind of sad there's an off day today.
They got to catch their breath.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
They gotta ship new balls into Seattle because they're like, Diamondbacks just ran out of balls in San Francisco.
All right. Arizona Diamondbacks, we'll be able to talk about them winning another one today and tomorrow, but boy, oh boy, great weekend to look forward to that. We can talk about poor old Big 12 and how long till they go by the wayside, only getting $30 million from their conference.
I thought they got more than that this year.
Huh?
I thought they got more than that.
Like $33 million.
Oh, is that what it was? Oh, I thought it was like 38,
Big
40.
Ten got in the 70s.
You know what, though?
SEC, 70s.
Again, second generation money.
I think.
At least we're not weasels like Greg Sankey is over there in the SEC.
Hey, I think probably within 5 years, the ACC and the Big 12 will come together and they can have a flag football league, and then SEC and Big Ten.
They won't survive on their own. SEC keeps threatening to move out of it and start their own division. You're not going to survive. playing the same 10 teams. You're not going to survive.
No, but if the Big Ten comes with them,
They're not
look
gonna
out.
go with them. Big Ten wants to do their own thing too.
Yeah, well, they both are going.
We're going to leave the NCAA. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, I'm
Take
outta
Northwestern with
here.
you.
You got the next 25 minutes to be negative.
Take Northwestern with you. That's all I'm going to say. Come on back, folks. The main event.
Go D-backs!
Oh my God. Big ref. And we're back here. Main event. Dale takes off and does the hit over there with Brett and John Holmberg and those boys over at the Holmberg Morning Sickness. It's great to see him over there. And it's funny, too, just on a side note, either people I've known in my life, friends of mine over the years, and stuff like that. I even had somebody the other day I was talking to on the phone over the weekend, and I hadn't talked to them in a while, and they go, do I hear your name every Thursday on KUPD? Is that you? It's pretty funny how it goes. But he goes over there, does that. They're coming back later today. They do the sports podcast there. Holmberg, the Angry Fan, and Dale Hellestrae. We produce that for them. It goes out through Hubbard Radio is where they do that. So we don't put that out. They do it on their end, but we produce it, send it back over to them and stuff like that. So that's a lot of fun working with these guys. That's what we do here at TME Media, of course. Follow TME Media AZ on X if you would. That tells you what we're doing around here. We could work with you also, and got a meeting coming up as well. We're just trying to get the details of it. He's a busy guy. We're going to talk. Wants to work with us as well for some programming coming up. At least us producing some of his programming for him. Don't know if he'll go out on our network or his network, if you might be able to catch on to that. But we're going to have that discussions here coming up, and we're growing, and it's all because of you guys out there as well. So follow TME Media AZ on YouTube as well. Then don't forget Rumble if you're real Matrix fans. Rumble.com/user/TME Media over there as well. And it's really quick just because we were having fun with it. I purposely did that to Dale where I kind of pushed off the Major League Baseball stuff. Because I wanted, just having some fun with that. But I mean, you can't say, can you be nitpicky? Yes. And I have fun with that here from time to time. But the way the Diamondbacks just went through this stretch against inferior opponents, I don't care what you say, they're inferior opponents. They don't have the talent of the Diamondback. It's easy to lose a game or two in a series. Just the other team gets hot that day. Their starting pitcher dominates. And you can't get a hit off of him or, something like that. We just saw the lonely, who did that the other day? A team that was not playing well. They just had that Houston, right? They went out and had a no-hitter, 3-pitcher home no-hitter. And it was just like out of nowhere that they did that. It's easy to lose a couple games in baseball, just bad days happen, stuff like that. And they went through this stretch without it. So you got to give the Diamondbacks props for getting through this stretch. Seattle's not an easy team either, right? They have a ton of talent there. Yes, their schedule has not been good this year. There's a lot of upsetness up there in Seattle about them as well. So it's not going to be easy, but the Diamondbacks can go up there and win the series is all you can ask. Win the series of the games you want. And it is kind of fun to watch. like I said, we can get nitpicky and stuff, but it's hard to get nitpicky and be serious about it. Yes, my feelings about Tori are the same. Yes, my feelings about Marte are the same as well. But you can't deny that it's working right now out there, moving forward as well. So it's a lot of fun out there as well. Really quick, ASU football, just a football note for those of you looking ahead to the season coming up. The start times for the first 3 games are official. They are opening the season on ESPN Plus again. I believe they did that last year as well. Maybe it was 2 years ago. A lot of people complained about that. I of course, go to the games there with my family, so I don't see the broadcast there. But Morgan State, September 5th, is going to be 7 p.m. on ESPN Plus. I get it. I get the network's perspective on that. I get the Big 12's perspective on it. I would just rather see those are the games to start your season of people to log into and watch and stuff. Don't put it on a streaming network that people have to buy. But I get it. Networks are going to do what they're going to do. Then the schedule gets a little rough. September 12th, they go to Texas A&M. That's going to be a 9 a.m. kickoff here, Phoenix time for us. That week on ABC. So they're on the ABC network. First time since the Big 12 championship game from a couple years ago on ABC. 9 a.m. window against Texas A&M, at Texas A&M on September 12th. Then the London game is the week after that. 5 p.m. local time in London is when that's going to kick off there at Wembley Stadium. It's going to be 9 a.m. here in the Valley on FS1. It is not a standalone game. I'm actually surprised by this. Just your standard 9 a.m. kickoff here locally, along with all the other 9 a.m. games as well and everything. So they play Kansas, Lou, in London as well. They're in Wembley on 19. So we have the start time, 7 p.m., basically 2 road games, right? 9 a.m. after that for ASU. And now 5 p.m. London time, I'm not worried about that one, but a 9 a.m. kickoff at Texas A&M, that's not an easy place to play. SEC, Texas A&M is going to be good. You got to kind of watch out for that as well. So just plan ahead here is what I'm getting at for your Sun Devils coming up. Really quick, throw up the playoff bracket for the NBA real fast. Not a lot to talk about as the NBA was off last night. Of course, the Knicks beating the Cavaliers in 4 meant no game last night as well. But you do get Spurs Thunder tonight. Thunder are up 3-2 in that series. I told you earlier, I do believe the Thunder close it out tonight. We talked about at the beginning of the series after game 1. Are the refs going to start, giving the Thunder those calls that the Thunder get? And you've started to see that creep in. Wemby had a bad game the other night. I think they've solved the link problem with Wemby, whether it's the Thunder in a part with the NBA officials or whatever. So I'm anticipating this series closing out tonight. I am rooting for the Spurs. I want them to win. We'll see how I feel closer to game time, but I just think the cards are in the way for the Thunder to win this night as well. Do you have something to say, Lou? Kobe, it's NBA talk. He's got nothing to say. I thought I heard him say something over there. From that perspective. Then Lou's coming up here, top of the hour, folks, and everything. But, of course, we're going to talk college baseball today. We've got the tournament set up. It kicks off tomorrow. ASU's tomorrow as well. They went to that Nebraska-Lincoln bracket there against Nebraska and Ole Miss. They play Ole Miss first here tomorrow night as well. So all of that, we'll get his thoughts on that. Of course, we'll talk NHL as well. And then I was saying earlier, the UFC's back this week. It's almost like another off week because you have to get up at 1 a.m. for the main cards, or stay up till 1 a.m. for the main cards this weekend from China. So throw Lou's microphone on for me real fast, Kobe. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You're right at 1 a.m. That's when the card starts. The main card is 4 a.m.
Oh, it's 4 a.m. Oh, I have it backwards. Okay.
So guys like me that I'm up at 4 buying time before I walk my dog at 4:30. So that'll work good for
4
me.
4 o'clock, I can get up and watch that, or at least miss the first couple.
Of course, and you wake up at 5 and you catch 3 or 4 really good fights.
Oh, so I had it backwards. I was thinking it was. I'm glad you corrected me on that.
How about a little latte and left hook?
Right?
That's how you wake up. Breakfast and beat downs.
I love your analogies.
Eggs and omoplata.
When it comes to this stuff, we'll get into this card because I do know the main card, guys. Song and Figueiredo. In this one, in my mind, it's going to be a good fight. We'll get Lou's thoughts on that coming up. But this is, we see Texera again in a heavyweight bat in this one. We'll talk to Lou about this, but then populated with a bunch of guys I've never heard of before. So we'll get Lou's thoughts on all that coming up as well. But before we do, we're going to talk NHL hockey with him as well. We know one half of the bracket. Obviously, the Knights swept Colorado. Shocking the result there. Plus 2,500 odds if you would have put the Knights to sweep the Colorado Avalanche in that series. Plus 2,500 odds, folks. That's how improbable it probably was out there. But then you got the Carolina. Throw up the playoff bracket for me, Kobe, here. Last night you had Carolina and Montreal. It was 3-0 before you sat down with your popcorn if you were in that stadium last night. Here's the problem. We'll talk to Lou about this. Lou, you can chime in now if you'd like now here. We'll get more into it in a bit. But to me, I said yesterday, Carolina wins this game tonight. This series over. Montreal needs to win tonight. I think it's there. But this just goes to show more here. Montreal, well, first of all, the Carolina scored 3 goals in 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Second fastest 3-goal burst in franchise playoff history for them. But my bigger issue here with Montreal is, 43 shots on goal in 197 minutes and 35 seconds of game time over the last 3 games. That's 13.1 shots per 60 minutes for Montreal. The fewest shots per 60 minutes by any NHL team over a 3-game span as well. So they were tracked back in the 1950s is when they were started. Montreal can't shoot. That's their detriment. Your thoughts real quick?
They were hesitant to shoot. It's partially by design. That's how St. Louis wanted to play.
That's how they play.
This is a team that last year went to the playoffs and lost in the first round, and this year came back after winning 2 series on the road in Game 7, now facing a team that's been there 4 or 5 straight years trying to break the door down.
Yes.
And the picture I'm painting is that winning championships in the sports I cover takes tremendous fortitude, and it's a process. You have a guy like Patrick Waugh that'll show up and take a team somewhere. A guy like Jonathan Quick, that's once every generation. Other than that, it takes building blocks. And the 2 building blocks that have been coming together all year are the 2 teams here. And unfortunately for Montreal, they still have 1 more year to have to sweat. Look out for them next year. They're one of the youngest teams in the league this year. With that experience, that coach, that civic pride, I am absolutely not worried about Montreal. Whatever happens in this series, I expect that the color of the series is that Montreal had these first 3 games to take advantage of Carolina. What we saw last night was Carolina's legs beginning to get under them. Yeah. And Montreal showing the wear from that series.
But I mean, it's by design because in Buffalo, I complained about it a lot. They would just go dormant on shots on goal and play that defensive style. They let Buffalo into a couple games to come back. They win one of them in overtime and things like that. But 4 shots on goal in the third periods, 4 shots in game 3 and 4 combined for Montreal. You don't win too many games when you're doing that against a sharpshooting team like Carolina as well. I'm not saying it's bad on Montreal in terms of their future and stuff like that. Like you said, they're young. They got to figure it out, though, and this is a learning curve for them. Right?
There's nothing but blue sky in Montreal. Listen, Canada hasn't even had somebody go this far for a while. So I think we need to throw accolades where they're due, and what that coach did and that team did is exemplary, and next year they're going to be tough. Now, but let's focus to Carolina, and I don't know how much time you have before.
No, I tell you what, hold on to that thought real quick, and we'll take a break early, and we'll come back into it. It's just the Montreal's been outshot 136-65 by the Kings. Some teams can survive that and win games. You can't do that against sharpshooting teams like Carolina, like you saw last night, where they can light it up pretty quickly. That'll work against some teams, but like Buffalo, for instance, you can go on those little sides. So it is interesting to see. But no, hold that thought, Lou. And I tell you what, let's take a quick break here. Finish this hour early. Come back with Uncle Lou and keep it rolling here with the hockey talk, baseball talk. Got the regionals set up this weekend. And then, of course, UFC talk coming up with this guy, Uncle Lou. Come on back, folks. And we're back here. Took a little early break here for the start the second hour because it's a busy time in here, folks. College baseball, we've already kind of touched on hockey. Just the game last night, I think the conclusion I have at least is it's Carolina, Vegas in the final coming up here as well, which to me it's a disappointment because I wanted to see Carolina in Colorado, but the Knights bring a different angle into it. But first, guys, every Thursday, and ladies, every Thursday at 9 o'clock, Uncle Lou joins us. You can find him on as a contributor on the VSiN network. Of course, Gamblu.com is where you can find him. At Gamblu on X as well. How you doing, Lou?
Doing great, Steve. Happy to be here. A lot of sports that are in my crosshairs this time of year. So I'm fired up, ready to get to it. I know we always want to talk that my webpage is my presence, at least when we talk about sports. It's gamblu.com. You can go there to find everything out about me as you wish. I have a new
blog out there? That's
an old blog. Can you refresh that, Kobe, and see that?
It might be our system because the way they pull it up, it might not go. But I'll tell you right here too. I got. It is. Yeah, you have a profitability post.
I have a total profitability.
So that's on our system. So our system just didn't update it. You do have a puck profitability posted one there on your website. Yeah.
Be that as it may, rather than if the puck profitability tells you how great I'm doing this year after
37 and 30 plus 7.42 units, 19% ROI.
Then it lists all the remaining bets, which we don't have to get into. In any case, Gamblu's where you find out about me. The band at the top of the webpage gives you everything you need to know about me. And if you're just interested in sports, check out my opinions and you can laugh at them or take them to heart. Either way, the most important tab is the one on the far right, the San Xavier Del Bach mission. That's the oldest mission in the United States, located here in Arizona, south of us, a couple hours just south of Tucson. Great place, built in 1670 some, oldest mission in the country, and obviously they're doing really wonderful work there. It's totally indigenous to Arizona, as am I, coming many years ago from Nebraska, and so I've taken the mission as my counterpart, and I draw as much attention to them as I can. And Steve lets me bring this up every single week. I thank him for it, and if you want to check out the mission page, go down, hit the link, and it'll take you right there.
Absolutely. And now look, the fights are coming up in China this weekend there in Macau. So we'll get a lot of viewers and listeners and watchers all from that part of the country here with the UFC fights coming up. So keep that in mind also. We do have old buildings here, people from the other parts of the world. Not very many of them. but we do have a couple.
Old
meanwhile,
buildings.
meanwhile, they're all walking around and like, here, this building was built in the 1200s, and this was built in.
Yeah,
and we're like, we have
I
a
see
building
what you
from the
mean, because
1600s.
no, you're right. If you go to any city in Arizona, it's all less than 100 years old. So we got no antiquity here,
Yeah, I
except
know.
for that.
So somebody watching us, and I don't know, even China, they're like, oh, this was built, and whatever.
I don't know.
Before BC or whatever,
If they're
and stuff
watching
like
us in
that.
China, it's late at night, and I wonder what they're.
Hey, got to get ready for the UFC fights this
All right.
weekend coming up, right? But check out Lou. Follow him at Gamblou. Sneak Teep came out earlier this week, obviously, about business. So fights are overnight, basically Friday night into Saturday morning, coming up here. When the weigh-ins, we'll get into UFC in a minute, but when are the weigh-ins and the bout business? Because I'll forget to ask you.
Yeah, so the weigh-ins, it's Thursday. They're sometime tonight, and I'll find out when. And there won't be a live stream, so I have to see it as it goes. Not that it matters, because it's a different kind of a card. I'll be shooting one or two bets. One I already gave out on the Sneak Teep podcast that's available on my webpage. And so this card means way less to me than NHL hockey and College World Series, and so I'm putting it in its place.
Okay, perfect. That's good to know, because I'll just forget to ask. But About Business comes out. His website or your favorite podcasting system, you can find him along with all of ours as well. But let's get into that. We were talking hockey here and just talking about last night's game specifically. And in my mind, look, we got a Carolina Knights final coming up here, which is kind of a shocker. Kind of have to redo it, because I was looking forward to Colorado, Carolina coming up, and those two behemoths hitting there. And the Knights showed up, swept, of course. Tortorella is dominating here as a head coach and got these guys in Las Vegas playing a championship form for a team that wouldn't even have made the playoffs if they were in the East this year. That's how they snuck in there towards the end in the West to get to this point. Sorry, Montreal. I don't mean to put you off to the side, but that's at least what I'm viewing coming up here as well, Lou. So your thoughts on what we've seen so far and what we got coming up?
Well, I don't think anyone could have predicted what Vegas did to Colorado. However, it isn't a surprise at all. In fact, if you track, we had some very great success in the first two games of that series with Las Vegas as plus 190 underdogs and such. Colorado had to play LA in the first series, and everyone looks past that. But if you remember it, it was a bunch of 1-0 and 2-1 games, because LA is big and heavy and hard and defensive, and they play that from the goal out. And Colorado gets past them, and then they get into their arch rival in the same division, Minnesota, another big, heavy team that really took it out of Colorado. That is bigger and heavier than they've been in the past, but not big enough and heavy enough to see what they had to take into Las Vegas, the biggest and heaviest team of all that they were going to face, one right after another. And so physically, Colorado broke down, and Vegas is an incredible story about totally maverick ownership, going out and getting Torts, bringing Torts in. His record speaks for itself. There's no denying it. But what all this has created, and this sweep of Colorado has created a tidal wave, a tsunami wave of recency towards the Vegas Golden Knights. And the Torts story and the Knights and beating Colorado, and that's going to throw a cloud over what's going on in the East. And it's a building block thing. This Carolina team must be taken seriously. And I'll say it further than this. I think when those two meet, Carolina and Las Vegas, it will be a perfect storm opportunity for Carolina. And I say that because Carolina will be the beneficiary of a efficient series with Montreal, and then moving right into the finals after 11 days off before the championship series. Meanwhile, Vegas had no time off, but they're going to have 7 full days of rest before this series starts. Huge disadvantage. Huge. I believe the series is built on that aspect of the series. And with that in mind, I think you're going to find Carolina maybe will come as a short favorite. In fact, I was just trying to look that up. Futures.
Would they have? Would they? I guess that's true.
Carolina minus 145 on DraftKings. Golden Knights plus 130. If you took it right now, Montreal, you want to get a price 30-1 if you think they can win it all. My advice.
Win 3 in a row.
My advice will be, and no one's heard this except Matt Humans and Brady Cannon.
You're hearing it first.
This is I haven't written this. And I already have bets on it, so I'm not worried. But what I would have you consider is Carolina, and I wouldn't be shy. I think it's a perfect storm for them. And if you're gonna do it, rather than take them right now, I think the tsunami wave could affect the series price on Las Vegas. And if Las Vegas as a dog starts getting eaten up, that means the Carolina price comes down and becomes more affordable. So I'm not telling you to jump now. I'm telling you to just watch that series line and where it goes. My guess would be it could go up a little bit in the next couple of days with people like me that are going to hit it a little bit now. And then it could, again, I think as we get closer and closer to the series, the public is going to be hearing nothing but Vegas and Tortorella information. And I think it's just going to sway the public. And I think Carolina, making it hard, putting that negative price there, I wouldn't be deterred. I think they're more like minus 190.
Does the way Vegas played against Colorado, they're a wide open team, can score a lot. Colorado can. They were able to defense them up a little bit. Then you got the Carolina choking that they've had in the past. They're getting past that finally here to make it to the final. They just got to win one more here and everything. That doesn't. That's what scares me a little bit about Carolina. Can Vegas knock them up? Can Vegas lock them up?
Yeah, Carolina. Can Vegas lock them up? And what I'm telling you is for two games or a game and three quarters, Vegas ain't going to be able to catch up to them.
Yeah.
The rest is going to work adversely to Vegas early in that series. And this is a series you get down 2-1, it's hard. I'm just saying. I look for Carolina to just be too fast, too mighty, too swarming, too everything, especially after playing the quickness of Montreal. There's nothing in Vegas that's going to scare them outside of the physicality, and we'll see. No, I'm not saying Vegas is slow. I'm just saying they're heavier
compared to Carolina.
And that's where they could be exposed. So it should be fascinating. I can just tell you that if you watch me on VSiN or anywhere else in the next week before this series starts, you'll hear what I just said.
Yeah, and do what you can. Obviously, make your own decisions out there as it goes. And I told you also, kind of during that break there, man. I just looking at it going, and I'm the guy you're talking about. Vegas surprised me so much against Colorado with what they did. I expected Vegas to get blown out in a couple games and just go 6-7 games and and things to that effect. The way they played, the way they just shut out Colorado, physically beat up Colorado, which Colorado came in beat up. But I mean, McKinnon got injured in that. A couple other major guys for Colorado. That kind of woke me up to go, they're going to employ that same strategy against Carolina, who has the same way.
Is how long they got to wait to play again.
I know, I don't disagree with that. It's a long wait time.
I can't tell you what a factor that is.
Yeah.
You poll the Vegas guys. You want 7 days off, guys? Nope.
Oh, they would have wanted to go right back out again. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the other side that you said.
We'll see.
Yeah, I think you might have said it. You might have said it on air. I don't remember now, but you definitely said it today where you said Carolina last night looked like they were getting their legs back.
Oh, yeah.
They played something like 10 games in 30 days because they were the sweep, and then to get into this series. So, they're still fresh.
Yeah, you saw it in the Montreal series. Game 1, Montreal just ran right by them. Looked like Carolina was skating in wet cement.
Yeah.
Game 2, it got better second half. Game 3, bing. All right, and now Carolina going to just be rolling because they're going to time that next series as soon as they can get rid of this one.
Yeah.
So
the thing I'll be paying attention to in this series is after Game 3. Now they were down 3-0. The Colorado coach got caught at the blackjack tables in Vegas late at night one night with a picture of him.
Was that late at night?
It was like it wasn't like 3 a.m, but it was later at night.
Yeah,
People they got a picture. So I'm gonna be like watching that. Going,
I saw that photo. He didn't look sloppy
No,
drunk.
he wasn't like that.
He
He
didn't
was
have vomit on
he
his
looked.
shoulder.
They were down 3-0, and he looked depressed. He was probably like, "I'm just see if we can change our fortunes here at the table." It wasn't like 3 a.m. or anything, but it was later than you would think somebody would be out at that time when they have a game.
What is it? So what time is that later?
Oh, I don't know. I want to say it was 8 or 9, but don't exactly.
I was at a
quote me on
crap
that,
table one night with Jimmy Johnson, Dave Wanstead, and Norv Turner at Caesars after a fight playing craps at the same table with him, and I had one hoot of a time. And it was in the
they didn't have a game the next
It was
day.
in the wee hours.
Yeah.
It was a Saturday night
Oh,
after
really?
a fight.
Oh.
Well, it must have been off, or it must have been off season.
Yeah.
Because clearly, if they had a game the next day, none of them would have been there. In fact, I remember saying, of course, it's off season or some goofy thing like that.
Yeah,
They must have been there for meetings or something.
I didn't make a big deal out of Colorado. I was like, they're down 3-0. He knows what's going on. He's probably those injury. When we see the Colorado injury list that comes out, now they've been eliminated. We'll get it any day now. It's going to be ridiculous.
Well, it's going to be from the 3 series they had to endure that kind of beating.
They were unbelievably hurt.
And now you can kind of see Montreal a little bit. Carolina got big brothered for 3 straight years by Florida, and they just couldn't get past them. This year, Florida doesn't make it. Now Carolina knows how to be the bully, and they're giving it to Montreal. Montreal, I don't know who's the young kid, Hudson.
Yeah,
Hudson.
Yeah,
made the
Canadian.
mistake, and it's Carolina's game plan. Brindamore had make sure we're hitting him every time he's on the ice.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I like Brindamore. He's really impressed me.
Guy. How do you not like him? I don't know how you not like it. He's had a tendency
I watch him,
to grip the stick too tight in previous series to this year, but it's been 4 or 5 years that he's been put up with that frustration. And a dude like that's what happened in his career as a player.
Same thing,
It took him forever to win a cup, and now, I got to root for him, and I think the spot is really favorable.
I would say that the spot does set Carolina
Very
up in terms of the rest they had earlier to now and things to that. So Lou told you guys what he's thinking going into this series. Well, of course, there's one more game against Montreal.
Oh no, there could be 2. You don't know.
2, yeah, but
I mean, let's go Montreal.
Carolina's 225 favorites for that game. I think it's tomorrow night. 225 favorites going to that game. So people are really looking at Carolina to close out that series tomorrow night. And it could be 2 or 3, right? Technically, if they're still alive. I just don't know how Montreal's not going to change their game planning, and you cannot not shoot the puck against Carolina. If you're on your defensive end for periods at a time, you're not going to win those games. And that's the thing that kind of shocks me on Montreal going to that. Really quick, just in a gambling story here. Do you know the Fertitta brothers, Tillman?
I don't know.
Around the gambling circle
I
sign?
know of them, and I know their properties, and I've been
Golden Nugget,
stations,
Station.
casino, so Palace Station.
Yeah. He doesn't own Red Rock, does he?
No, but I think
okay.
There's been some conglomerate news recently in Vegas about sports books, meaning
That's what I'm getting at.
Caesars is now running various hotels sports book operations.
Yeah, well,
them.
Fertitta just bought the Caesars Entertainment this morning
for like $17
billion. Well, that's why I was asking
I'd
you
like
because
to know the Fertittas.
So would I. But I mean, one reason he's doing it, from what I'm reading, he owns the Houston Rockets, wants to own more sports franchises, stuff to that effect. Is I hear he wants to focus on the sports book type market and go more fiercely into that type of stuff. So that's the only reason I was bringing it up.
Well,
to you.
I think he's going into it in the duality of owning pro sports and the sports gambling.
Yeah.
I think he's the first to be able to interwove
interweave
those
two
together.
Yeah, so it is a fascinating
total
movement. We'll see how it
sense.
changes. How it changes, because that's the one thing about Vegas. People, it used to be you go in there and sports books were huge. Now they've all shrunk them little. The one downtown there, Circa obviously expanded theirs with, I think, is a phenomenal place. They're a little proud of it nowadays compared to when they first opened it in terms of what you have to pay to get into it. But I think it's phenomenal to watch games there on that stuff. And everywhere else you go, it's this little room with like 3 chairs, in a back corner.
Yeah, and sometimes I like those too. I can tell you this: when I am in Vegas, if there's an event, if somebody comes and tells you, hey, yeah, we were at XYZ casino on the Strip or here, there, and we went in to watch the fights, and we saw Lou there watching the fight in the sportsbook, you'd say, oh, no, I know that wasn't Lou. And they'd say, well, what are you talking about? He's like, well, Lou would never watch fights in a big crowd with everybody there. He doesn't. I don't watch NFL games in the sportsbook with everybody.
Yeah.
I don't watch fights that way. I watch by myself. Because if I'm having a great night, usually everybody in the sports book's all bummed out. Not that I'm doing this. I never do that.
And the guy gets knocked down, loose cheering, and everybody else is like, boo.
No, I don't. I hold it in. I know how to do it by now. But it's adverse. If I go out there and I think I got the right guy and my guy gets the brakes beat out of him, everybody over here screaming and yelling. I'm looking at some freaking guy with his pants down to his knees, just saluting because he won, and I'm over here with a losing ticket. And so I don't want to put up with that BS. I'll just go feel like a loser all by myself because I hate losing. And a couple weeks ago, we had a good one recently. I don't remember who. Arnold Allen come back, made me look good. But the one before that, who was it? Jack Della Maddalena. Oh, baby.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
What that was a colossal egg that I laid. To get sucked in on that and make that release hurts me to my core to this day. I mean, it's going to take me a couple more cards to get over that miss.
Shake it off, Lou. Shake it off.
Oh, no, I get it. You got to. But when you look, I have a few of them in my mind that come to mind that were just like, have you ever done this before in your whole life? You picked that guy?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's
well,
like
whatever.
years later. I'm letting you lament now. I'm just going to let you do it. But, well, let's get into college baseball. We know the field here as well coming into this.
The field.
I'm good because there's so many things. Obviously, ASU got into this just from a local perspective. They're in the your old place here in Nebraska.
Up in Lincoln, Nebraska,
Lincoln, Nebraska.
Haymarket.
Interesting enough, they got Nebraska's the number 1 seed. Ole Miss is the number 2 seed into this. They also have South Dakota State as the 4 seed. ASU is the 3 seed. ASU, at least according to Baseball America, going into this, actually are higher ranked than Nebraska and Ole Miss going into this. Nebraska is on upset alert, according to the prognosticators out there. ASU plays Ole Miss first here tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, so 6 p.m. our time. ESPNU for that game, just for you guys at home here. Winner goes on and plays the winner of Nebraska. Loser, obviously.
What time is the ASU game here?
6 p.m. our time, 9 p.m. Eastern.
6 p.m. our time. All right, beautiful. Beautiful, because I'm going to be watching some of these games. And game one, no bets, because I have some bets that they're all on the webpage too, by the way.
Are you just hanging out to your futures one still?
I have futures, and I've added a few futures where I had some holes, namely Texas.
Yeah.
I have bets to win the regional. First of all, if you're going to dabble in the College World Series, you have to get a bracket. Okay, if you don't, it's a bracket just like college basketball. So you can, everyone knows how that works. It whittles you down. But you got to understand where each team sits because I'm strategic in trying to cover each section of the bracket so that I have advantage, hopefully with 2, 3, 4 of these teams making it into the finals. So February 9th, I put out a list to win the College World Series. Just in the last day or so, I put out, and these as soon as DraftKings came out with these numbers, I was out with bets 15 minutes later. I put out to make the College World Series. I have 4 of those bets, and I made to win the regional. I made 4 of those bets, and be happy to share them here. Here's the regional. So in the regional, Steve just brought up Nebraska, South Dakota. And then Arizona State, Ole Miss. That is a killer, murderous division because 3 of those teams can win it. I don't think that South Dakota can. I bet Nebraska to come out of that region at plus 110. And I'm hoping that Arizona State and Ole Miss beat the brains out of each other in that first game and leave them susceptible for Nebraska because I'm really afraid of Ole Miss. If it's an SEC team, they've been playing Big Brother and getting their nose bloody. They may look like 8 and 9 in the division, but it's against top 6 teams though every time they play. So I'm scared to death of Ole Miss. So there's one, Nebraska at plus 110. The next one, Arkansas. Arkansas is on the other side of the bracket, and they're in the where the hell did they go?
I'm flipping through.
Oh, there
my
they
list
are.
here.
They're up at the top right. So Kansas number 1, Northeastern number 2. They play one game, and then Missouri State and Arkansas. Missouri State and Arkansas had a couple games this year, and in one of them they had a benches clearing brawl. And I think that some of the people that were even selling hot dogs and stuff went down there and got involved in it. So there's some history there, and
That
it
was
should
recently
be good.
too. That was like a month ago, 2 months ago.
This
yeah.
one should be good. That first matchup. It's interesting they'd put those. That's like putting fire and gasoline together in the first one. However, I will say this: Arkansas should be the one. I think with their history, their coach, and the fact they're ACC, this might be just the thing that they needed to give him a kick in the butt. And I took Arkansas plus 145. They're now plus 130. That's why I take it right away. I want to get it before. I want to get my advantage before others see what I see. And I think Arkansas is going to be really competitive in that region. Next one, Oak State. Here's one I really like. And that's Oak State's down a couple on the top right of the bracket. Alabama plays Alabama State, Alabama SEC team. And then USC Upstate takes on Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State was in this tournament a year ago. They had a bunch of hitting, no pitching. They did well. They got some great experience. They were competitive. And now this year they come back with way better pitching too. Oak State's a good team. I caught them plus 190. Right now they're plus 165. So again, others have seen what I saw at those openers too. Doesn't mean they're going to win it. They've got to get by UC Upstate. That sounds like a pushover, but none of these games are. Baseball's random. So there's work to do here. But if you notice, every one of my picks for the region got a plus number in front of it, except for this last one, Southern Miss. We go over to the Southern Miss Regional, and you got Southern Miss, Little Rock, Jacksonville State, and Virginia. Virginia's just getting healthy. They're interesting. Jacksonville State might be the most underrated team. They're this year's Coastal Carolina, if you will. They're a very underrated team. You got Little Rock and Southern Miss. But Southern Miss has been hosting these regionals in Southern Miss for a couple of years now, and they always spit up all over themselves. Again, we talked in hockey. It's a process winning. I think Southern Miss is the little engine that could, and at plus 100, I took them. So those are the 4 bets. If my unit is $100, these are all $50 bets. So they're all half unit bets. All I'm trying to do is get involved in these regionals, watch some scores, and learn as we go through. So the next one is, how about we want to take a few teams, we'll have a little fun to make the College World Series. Yep. So they just got to be in the final 8. We went to the Florida State region there where they play St. John's, and then Northern Illinois and Coastal Carolina. It's a real first of all, between the SEC and the ACC, you're going to have 5-6 teams of the 8 in Omaha. Florida State's one of the top 3 ACC teams. They've got some questions, but boy, the bracket really helps them because they have to play the Alabama Okie State winner. Florida State has a chance to make it, I think, pretty good. And so at plus 150, there's a half a unit bet. And we went over to the other side of the bracket, Florida, SEC team, coached by Sean O'Sullivan, coached by Coach O'Sullivan. This coach is good. He gets them there all the time. They always play 500 SEC ball, and when they get to the end of the season, they're playing their best ball.
They wake up, right?
So Florida to make the College World Series, that's a plus 110. That was a half a unit play. Then we went over again, believe it or not, it's another SEC team, bottom right of the bracket, Mississippi State. Mississippi State against Lipscomb, Louisiana, and Cincinnati. Very favorable matchup for Mississippi State, who's really good on pitching, comes from the SEC. The coach at Virginia previously, a guy named O'Connor, that played at Creighton and is from Omaha, is now coaching Mississippi State. If Mississippi State makes it to Omaha, every fan in the stands will be for Mississippi State, which is something because Omaha traditionally hates Mississippi State's guts. But this coach change makes all the difference. And for them to make the College World Series, they're a plus 115. So there was another half unit bet. Now, I want a long bomb. And everybody and their mother's talking about Georgia Tech on the top right. Everybody and their mom is just there to Georgia Tech this, Georgia Tech that. But let me tell you something. They're overlooking Oklahoma, who was in this tournament last year and went somewhat deep. Yeah. Oklahoma getting no shine from nobody, and everybody's already anointing Georgia Tech. OU to make the College World Series, 15-1. Let's try that. How about that deal?
Really? For the long shot, I like it.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I got to put a price in there. You know, we got to.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's on Georgia Tech also because they got UIC and the Citadel in there, you know, in their bracket, and obviously Oklahoma as well. So that is it. You said they're 15-1 when you placed that bet.
Yeah,
earlier,
I'm checking that right now. I want to make sure that's what it is.
Yeah, because I mean, that's an interesting take there because I'm always weary of the people that go, watch out for this team. Now, obviously, everybody's saying UCLA's, you know, moving on and stuff like that. That you can kind of get behind with the way season that
Oklahoma
they had, obviously.
To make the College World Series 15-1, because if they were to beat Georgia Tech and then they go into that Kansas-Arkansas bracket where I think they could still run. So
and you have Arkansas coming out there, too. Yeah,
that could be again. I like to have a bomb in there, and you just put a few peanuts on it and have fun with it. I mean, guy like you, Steve, if you're going to bet $5 on $2 or $3 of these, and you might put $2 on this thing. Yeah. What the hell?
I'll just waste the whole
funny
$5.
Money, whatever you got to do.
I'll make it up with those other plus numbers.
So the to win the World Series market is different. Many of those came out February 9th, and many of those are in really good play. Now, LSU didn't make the tournament, so that recommendation that came out in February is a loss that counts in our record.
You were big on LSU.
I'm just saying, I was big on them, and I start out with an L with them, and I think that's the only one that had lost. UCLA 11-1. We got North Carolina 19-1. Mississippi State at 20-1.
Now that's to win the College World Series.
To win.
Right? Okay, yeah.
We got Oregon at 25, Oregon State at 30.
Ooh, and they can play each other in their first regional here. That regional's crazy.
Florida was 20, Auburn was 11, and Oak State. And some of these that are really long odds like this, 60-1, that's like 0.15 of a unit. You know, you don't have to have a lot on it to hit. And if you have 3 or 4 of them and you can get one of them in, you can have some fun during the College World Series.
Absolutely. But sorry, go ahead. You finish your thought.
I was just going to say there, what I've done there is I've spent basically 5 units over all of those positions. So somebody's saying, well, that's a lot of bets you could lose. Yeah, I could lose 5 units. But if one hits, the shortest amount I would win is 9. So if one hits, I'm 4 units plus. Will I bet 5 to win 4 or better? Yeah, because if another one hits, I could win 16 units. Yeah, and then the math really works. So I'm trying to hit a winner while I bet these regionals and supers.
Yeah, absolutely. But the one, Brian, I wanted to talk to you about here was that Eugene regional. Oregon State's the 2 seed. Washington State's the 3 seed. You got Oregon's the 1 seed in that, and then you got Yale coming over from the East Coast to the old Pac-10 foes here in that regional. To me, when I look at the regionals, to me that's just a crazy. Not just because Washington State, your old division foes here, right? Old Pac-12 foes and things to that effect. That's a crazy regional for me on that side. And like you said, and that's what I also know is you have Oregon State and Oregon in your February 9th, win the World Series bet there.
Right.
And now they're matching up in this first round in Eugene, of all places.
I hate that. And Oregon's the favorite over Oregon State, who Oregon State's missing their ace.
Yeah.
So they get shut down.
They're still winning, though, even without them. But now things change here.
And they're a championship pedigree team, believe me. They'll give it their all. And in Washington State, you're right. Great eye. This is a murderous.
They know each
bracket.
other.
Washington State is a good team, and so is Yale. Yale's odds to win the region are shorter than Washington State, so don't think Oregon's going to dance in.
Really,
Last year,
Yale is too.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it, going, we got 3 teams that
no,
know
that's
each
a
other
good eye.
intimately, and then you got a team coming from small school coming from the East Coast. Like, good luck fitting in this rivalry.
I couldn't agree. No, I think
rivalry
Yale
games.
fits better than we think. That
Does
will
it?
be my
Okay.
prediction in that one because
Okay.
all those teams, I could see. I guess I'd be a little surprised if Yale won, but I could see the other 3 winning.
Yeah, no, I saw that, and I was like, there did no favor. Like, who did Oregon State, Oregon, and Washington State upset when they made these brackets? That they put them all together. Hey, you guys just go here, and then
Well,
they're
it's
close
all
to home.
you
Then
can
they're
see
close
it's
to home on top
regionally
of it.
done.
You know? Oh, I know. But then they're all close to home too, right? Even Washington State to Oregon's a puddle jumper flight to get over there. So that is an amazing bracket to watch coming up.
I
If
agree.
you want to
Totally
watch one,
agree.
that's probably the one I would probably.
That
tune
said,
into
the Arizona
most.
State bracket's competitive,
It's
and
very
we're going to be able to
competitive.
see it on TV here. And I'll be honest with you, from a kid that grew up in Omaha and watched College World Series every freaking year since I was in diapers and going to the U of A, I'll be rooting for ASU. I got no hang up with that. When I grew up, U of A was Auburn or Alabama. They don't know nothing from ASU. We grew up with Arizona State in the College World Series with USC every freaking year. Dido and who was the old coach of ASU?
Yeah, I know. I knew you were going to say that. I always say the name wrong.
Not Brock.
Brock.
Before Brock.
Yeah, I know. So that's the thing. I always say his name wrong. So I got to think of it. You caught me on the
Whoever
spot
it was, but it didn't matter because
Yeah.
ASU was there all the time. And
it
when
just
I
a-
grew up, I wanted to go to ASU, and then I drove down here as a high school kid, and we drove ASU's campus. And coming from the sticks of Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, it was a big city. There were streets and stuff. It was weird to me. And then we went down to the U of A, and it was like 5, and the sun was going down. There were some halter tops moving around, and I was hook, line, and sinkered, baby. Because it's more a sequestered campus with
it's
and so they're very, very different, even though they're both very, very great.
Robert says, with all the SEC talk, I thought Helly was still there.
Yeah, sorry, Robert, but I'm getting right. I mean,
You're not wrong for the most part.
I have North Carolina. I have Miami, Florida.
The Arkansas
I
pick.
have Florida
the
State,
Arkansas
so-
pick is the one where I find interesting because Kansas is good.
And I tend to not like Arkansas.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
Yeah,
because Kansas is really good. So as the
They
one
are,
seed,
but what conference are they in?
I know Big 12.
And then who they playing? A team in the
Northeastern is the first one. Then
Well,
the
no,
SEC.
they're- no,
Then
but
the
they-
SEC team.
Then they
after
play
that.
the SEC
Yeah,
team, and
yeah.
that's why I'm nervous about Nebraska. Mississippi's the only one I ventured against.
The reason why that one, besides Arizona State being in that, is that's one of the few regionals where the 3 seed is actually ranked higher than the 1 and 2 seed.
Yeah, I just
So,
don't know if the pitching at ASU. You've been
That's-
squawking about that the whole year, Steve.
Well, that's the thing. They went through that big lull in the middle where they could have been hosting a regional, but then they went through that big lull where their pitching was just getting lit up and they weren't hitting it all. Then their hitting woke up, and then their pitching, and then when the Big 12 tournament came, they went up. They were playing well, and then they went up against West Virginia and just looked like they'd never played baseball before. And West Virginia is a good school too in this
they're in
tournament.
it.
And so you're just sitting there going, which ASU team's going to show up? I guess is kind of, and it worries me a little bit. First time Arizona State's been in this position. In terms of this with the expectations on them coming in. I don't know if they're not favored on the book line, but like I said, the expectation is they're the better team out there. So you're sitting there going, I don't know, expectations might let us down in this bracket. But Nebraska and Ole Miss are quality teams. Any one of those 3 can walk out of this and make it to the super regional. So that's where that's fascinating from that perspective. Most of the other brackets are just, you can see a 2 seed winning, but you usually don't see too many 3 or 4 seeds sneaking out of these regionals.
It's
for the
rare
most
when
part.
that happens.
Yeah.
Uh,
ASU probably should have been a 2 seed in this. If you were to rank them properly, how you can always go through and see. It wouldn't have been shocking if they were a 2
Vegas says
seed.
about it. I'm looking at the lines right now.
Yeah. I've not looked them up yet, but I know Baseball America is hyping Arizona State up in that they have Nebraska on upset alert. So, but Nebraska can obviously being home says a lot.
Mississippi
doesn't it?
minus 155.
In the first game there.
Yeah, and Arizona State would be plus 125.
That doesn't surprise me with, like you said, SEC and Ole Miss coming into this coming into this game as well. So it'll be interesting to watch. It's going to be an interesting bracket.
It's going to be very interesting. I would love to see Arizona State beat Mississippi State, only because I would prefer Nebraska play ASU than Mississippi. I'm scared to death of Mississippi.
Man, you pitch bad against Arizona State, though, man, and those balls you're going to lose a lot of balls into that outfield. I don't care where they're playing. They can play in those deep ballparks.
Yeah, no,
or the smaller ballparks. That Hairston kid and
Haymarket's smaller, so it favors gorilla ball. Omaha doesn't.
Yeah,
I don't care who you are.
Yeah,
that's why you don't see Georgia or Georgia Tech on my futures board. Because they're very reliant on home runs. And teams that come to Omaha relying on home runs get disappointed because the wind gusts in at 17 into their teeth every single effing day. I'm telling you, I got the wind meter. I look like a doggone meteorologist at my house with all the technology.
Lou's got somebody, he's texting somebody in the crowd going, hold that thing up so I can see how fast it's spinning.
I have a map as how the stadium sits next to the river, and then I put the wind – I'm trying to think of the name of the web.
I know what you're talking about. It does the arrows or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it shows me the direction and miles per hour over the course of the day. I just love the thing. For 10 days.
Every game, Lou's just adjusting his betting based off of the wind pattern.
I again, if you're listening, I bet a lot of unders, but I don't bet them blindly. I look at wind.
Yeah.
And for the first half of every year, the makers are asleep. And then they say, oh, yeah, remember we were getting clobbered on unders because of that wind. And then they wait to put totals out later, unfortunately. It's a cat and mouse game. But I'm just saying, if you go to the Gamblu webpage daily, my stuff will be out there. And I'll have checked wind the day before, and I'll let you know what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and I do like Florida State. I've been actually secretly high on Florida State throughout the season to where
I better sell them.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
No, you haven't gone to the World Series.
I'm kidding because you're going to give me the kiss of death.
I'm not saying they're going to win the whole thing, but I do expect them to go on a run here. And then I'm interested in Florida because, like you said, last year, 500 in SEC play or whatever, and then just go and win the whole thing.
I don't know if they won it or they got to the finals.
Got to the finals.
Maybe.
Was that last year? Or 2 years ago?
The coach is he plans it. He's got it scheduled. They peak at the right time, and that whole SEC should be really fun. Those ACC teams, North Carolina, West Virginia, we haven't talked a lot about. The teams we haven't talked about in those brackets is because those regionals are the favorites liable to roll. I look for Auburn to steamroll.
West Virginia, Auburn. West Virginia should roll in theirs. They got Wake Forest, Kentucky, Birmingham is their first game. West Virginia should roll through that one there. That's a Big 12 school.
But then they got UCLA on deck, so that's why they're being discounted a little bit.
Yeah, you got to discount that.
Again,
I think
you got to have a bracket, people.
UCLA is definitely the favorite. You got to see
who, if you're betting to get to the College World Series, you got to see what the path is there. And if it's me and I got, Riley and my son and a couple of patty cakes and then Mike Tyson, you're like, well, draw an X on him. He ain't getting there. So, you got to know the bracket.
Yeah, and it starts tomorrow for the weekend as well. So exciting.
Oh, it's
college
exciting.
Baseball coming up here as well. So you got the Diamondbacks at Seattle this weekend. College baseball here as well for the rights to go to the Super Regionals coming up as well from that. And, I mean, even then, like UCLA is the number 1 seed. They play St. Mary's in their first game. And then they got Virginia Tech and Cal Poly on their other side of their thing as well. It's one of those things where it's, man, UCLA is probably going to roll through that. You're at least expecting them to.
Cal Poly isn't terrible, and Virginia Tech isn't terrible.
And that's the thing about baseball. One bad outing from a guy on that mound, and it could be in the losers bracket pretty quickly.
Yeah, and that's where UCLA really does kind of differentiate themselves is the depth of their starting pitching and they got a bullpen. So the pitching's big, and that's why they're there. And in the case of Georgia Tech, they've got what seems to be pitching and hitting. And you take part of that hitting away, I think it changes the dynamic of the team.
Shocked.
Everything
I'm reading is saying Georgia Tech, and
yeah.
And I didn't see Georgia Tech play all year,
though,
but I'm just going, really?
They're not on my portfolio, so we'll see. That doesn't mean they won't win it.
Let's take a quick break here. Come on back. We got some UFC fights from Macau this weekend. as well, the other gambling capital of the world. Now, let's talk about it. Come on back, folks. Main event with Uncle Lou. Cha-ching! I don't know if you wanted that out or not. That's why I stopped you. Lou's just talking about how exciting this time of year is out there.
Yeah.
I mean, like we talked about it, man. I looked out the clock and was like, we got to talk UFC, Lou.
We're on the air.
We got to get through this here as well. But I mean, look, it's like next week we'll be talking super regionals with Lou as well. And then, of course, NHL will be into the finals at that point. I think 2 games in, if my math's correct, as well. And then, of course, UFC. We'll eventually get back to some not overnight times, but 4 a.m. main card start here, our time here from Galaxy Arena over there in Macau, China as well. So 1 a.m. for roughly the prelims coming up this weekend. As we always do on these types of fights, Lou, I don't recognize, obviously, a lot of people here. I see my favorite named fighter that you always give me a hard time about in the prelims, Loma Lukbumi. I just love the name there. You always give me a hard time. Like, why do you want to talk about these fighters here and everything? I mean, first fight of the night, I'm just going to ask just because I love the name there. Seen her fight a bunch of time against Amorim, who we've seen fight a bunch as well. Amorim is the favorite going into this. Decision, most likely, obviously. Is there anything to watch in this first fight here with the what I think is the cool name?
Yeah, I think what you look for is if Amorim can sub Lukbumi in the first round.
Yeah.
Because that's if she can't, then Lukbumi probably wins the decision. You got to understand in this fight card over in China, what you have is someone from the Eastern Hemisphere, meaning
She's from
China,
Thailand.
Russian, Thailand, Australia, some South Korea, some Japan. Those countries are competing here, one in each fight, and they're matched up against someone in each fight that has to travel from outside of the hemisphere. So we need to understand, again, right, when weigh-ins are happening, we could be surprised by some travel and some snafus. But be that as it may, in this fight, I don't know where it sits in the card, probably early on.
It's
but
the first fight.
These early fights, I will not be more than I won't get up for. By the time 4 o'clock rolls around, I'll get into the main card, and that's where I'll want to do most of my handicapping. But there is a couple I want to draw everyone's attention.
Tell us on the prelim. I'm leaving it to you like I always do because I
Right.
don't know anybody else on this prelim for the most part. So you tell us if you're going to be up that late, what should you be watching?
Well, first thing you need, there's a few things you got to understand here. You're going to be in a big cage. Well, a lot of these kids are smaller, although 5 of the 13 are at 170 pounds or more, big boys. And when you look at the lines, there's only one fight where the favorite is priced lower than minus 205, meaning in the Sue Maiergi and Alex Perez fight, Perez is minus 140, Sue Maiergi is plus 120. Every other fight, the favorite's minus 210, 250, 350. So what this card really is, it's designed specifically to give the people in the Eastern Hemisphere somewhat favorable matchups against people that have to travel in so that they can fuel the expansion of the UFC in that region. Does it seem fair? I don't know. I'm not here to decide if it's fair or not. I'm here to tell you that's what they're doing. And so that affects how I look at this fight card. And so to me, there's very few fights to bet here, but there are fights we need to talk about. This fight between Meng Ding and Henrique should be a barn burner because they're 170-pounders. This Meng Ding is from China, power, aggressive, ultra aggressive, and Henrique, it's a debut. Henrique's 7 years younger, bigger, longer. That should be a really interesting matchup. Both these guys come from Contender where they lost. So it's interesting to me because I want to watch it and learn, but no way would I bet that fight. Then we go up a little higher. You go to Iori Kilang. He fights Cody Haddon. Haddon fought just 2 weeks ago and rolled and incurred no damage. 27 years old, 5 years younger. He's got great wrestling. He opens minus 290. Now he's minus 400 maybe. Let's see.
I don't have it in front of me.
He's minus 360 or minus 365. So Haddon should have his way with the Chinese fighter just because of his strength of wrestling there. And then a fight that should be really cool is at 170, and it's the main event of the undercard. That's Jake Matthews against Charleston Harris. Jake Matthews had another opponent that fell out. We didn't know if we were going to get an opponent. Harris comes in, 38 years old, short notice, Guyanese fighter. He's a brawler. He's tough. He'll strike. He's got some ground game. And I think he's a relatively dangerous matchup early for Matthews, although Matthews has had a full camp. He's 31 years old, 7 years the younger guy, and he's had some decent momentum lately. Matthews is designed to look good in this fight. I think he will, and you might even try something that looks like Matthews inside the distance, because you're looking at Matthews' price right now. You can see that he's, a minus 300 or so.
360 is what I saw.
Yeah, so
I
you
believe.
can't. So you can't really bet that. Now I'll share now a bet that I put out on the Bout Business on the Sneak Teep podcast, and now it's been out 5 days because that's when the Sneak Teep came out. And for those of you that don't listen to the Sneak Teep, you should, because I bury hidden gems in there like this. If you look at this fight card as we go into the main event, you know what? I'm going to tease that because we're going to get into the main event, and I want to talk about 2 or 3 of the fights before the bets that I made. But I have a bet that it was made on the Sneak Teep that involves 2 legs of a parlay being on this main card. I'll share those as we get to those fights.
Yeah. Well,
but I'm ready to go to the main
card.
card.
Start rolling.
Okay,
I'm not going to stop your momentum now. You're rolling.
So the opener of the main card is Su Muarji, a long, lean string bean of a guy from China, but he trains in California.
No.
So he probably went out there and had plenty of time to acclimate and stuff. But just FYI, he eventually did have to do some travel because Perez has to travel. 4 years older is Perez. Muarji's 3 years taller, a lefty, and has a 7-inch reach advantage. Su Muarji is primarily a stand-up fighter that needs length, and he just pitter-patters you into a points decision. No real power. Alex Perez has been inactive in his career, but lately has been active as he's gotten healthy and such. He loses only to top 8, top 10 featherweights. He's number 8 himself. Muarji is unranked. Even though he's got to travel and go face Muarji, and this fight opened a dead pick. I like Perez at the minus 130, minus
142 right now on DraftKings.
Okay, so I would tell you shop because at 42 at DraftKings, 44, 40, 40, 40, and a 50. So 142 ain't a bad price. I think Perez, because he can wrestle, grapple, meaning on the ground, and strike, I think his striking engages Muarji, and Muarji's long, lean body is too much for Perez to say no to, and he takes him down and smothers him from top, maybe even finishes him. I like Perez in this fight against Su Muarji. Okay, next fight.
You said that fight open as a pick'em?
Yes.
Wow, okay.
And so the next fight is Kai Asakura, and he's fighting a guy named Smotherman. Interesting, Smotherman going from 135 in this fight down to 125. Smotherman will be a little taller. He'll be the bigger man. But when you drop weight like that, it's because you're having a hard time dealing with all those big guys. Now, he wants to be the big guy. Meanwhile, Asakura, at 125 pounds, he has size, strength, and he's adroit. Well-rounded, the Japanese fighter. And let me correct myself here. It isn't Smotherman that's dropping. It's Asakura that's going up from 25 to 35. That's a big difference.
Ooh, so he's going up.
So Asakura is going up in weight. He fought at 135 early. When he went to the UFC, he went to 25 and was 0-2. So he doesn't like the weight cut. Now he's going back up to take Smotherman, who's a natural 35er.
So are you saying he has the frame for the 35? He was fighting under his frame before?
He was fighting like they all fight. They cut all this weight because they want to be the bigger guy and be bullies.
Yeah. But he's not going up to a weight where his frame doesn't handle it.
He's going up to the weight where he should be fighting
Okay,
at.
Perfect.
And so we'll see how Smotherman can handle Asakura, and really how Asakura can handle somebody that's a legit 35er, because Smotherman will weigh 135 and then he'll fight at 152.
Yeah.
So that fight, I guess, is interesting. Asakura is a big favorite. I got no opinion in that one.
He's a big favorite, but also the over-under is 2.5, minus 160 to the under on that fight as well.
So I would, if reading that, I'd say Asakura submission.
I'd say probably submission, right? It's the wrestling.
That's what
grappling?
I would say.
Okay.
Now here's one. What's the over/under in this Pavlovich-Teixeira?
Yeah, heavyweight fight here with Teixeira. Didn't Teixeira just fight a few weeks? I felt like he was in the ring like a week ago.
No, it wasn't.
I know
that.
it was a while ago,
It
but
wasn't that.
I just remember seeing him with his big spider tattoo on there. Yeah, minus 625 is what it is for Pavlovich right now. Pavlovich, there's minus 625. Yeah.
So this is an easy fight to break down. This is the hammer, Pavlovich, and the nail, Teixeira. This will be a complete and total demolition.
Under 1.5 is the over/under is 1.5. Under minus 188. To the under
right.
in this
Should
fight.
be. It'll be 250 by the time.
Well,
it
we've seen a
closes.
few heavyweight fights here. Let me ask you this: we've seen a few heavyweight fights where guys were supposed to get in and just smash the other guy. Can he stretch this out into start the second round here, or start the third round? Or
I don't know.
2
If
rounds?
he cut Teixeira, can he?
Yeah.
If he runs like Forrest Gump,
Okay,
runs
that's what I
and
was
keeps
wondering,
away from
'Cause
him, anything can happen.
We've seen a few heavyweight fights where guys were supposed to get destroyed, and then all of a sudden they're still standing there in the
How many
third. They're still getting
heavyweight-
pounded. But
How many heavyweight fights have I come here to say this guy's going to demolish the other guy and that it didn't work? Okay?
I
Well,
think-
here's one. Let's
Yeah.
watch and see what happens. But I'm telling you, this is one. This Pavlovich is a legit top 5
Okay.
heavyweight, and Teixeira ain't.
Okay.
And we'll see it. And we'll go so far as to say there's leg 1 of Uncle Lou's parlay. Pavlovich minus 600. There's leg 1. Now we'll go to the next fight. Ming Yang and Manyfield, the co-main event of the night. If you remember Ming Yang, and I know Steve does, the last time we talked about him was that fight against Johnny Walker, where he was a big favorite, and he was supposed to be. It was a setup fight
this
the
is what
last
I'm
time in
talking
China, and Johnny Walker was supposed to be the nail. Nobody told Johnny Walker that. Johnny Walker went out. Remember those leg kicks
Yeah.
and just bludgeoned this kid, Ming Yang.
That's one thing I'm talking about, yeah.
Ming Yang was embarrassed in front of his whole country. Now he comes back and they put lipstick on the pig and they gussy him up for a new one, but they bring in even a more susceptible opponent for him in Alonzo Manyfield. Now Menifield's willing and he's game and he's going to go in there and he's going to try and knock Ming Yang's block off. But Menifield's 38 years old, 11 years older, 2 inches shorter, and he's got power. It'll be a very interesting fight here to see if Manyfield and Ming Yang can vibe. Ming Yang blows this fight, we'll never see him again in the UFC. If he wins it, they prop him up and they have a 170 pound, 200 a light heavyweight from China that they can promote and help. They're big into China because there's such expansion potential for the UFC. So they're doing all they can for Ming Yang here. It's a setup fight, but I didn't use this one in the parlay. which tells you I don't have that much faith in Mr. Ming Yang. Who knows? Menifield's a bad hombre. So I'll be watching that fight, and we'll see. And then we go to the main event.
Yeah.
Main event,
Big one here.
135 pounds. Now, Figueiredo, the Brazilian, used to be the champ at 25, moved to 35 as he's now getting old. He's 38 years old, and those cuts to 25 were killing him. And so he's better at 35, but he's a little undersized. He's fought great competition, just can't get over the top. And they're bringing him in here just to be a subject. I'm just saying. Song Yadong trains in the U.S. at Team Alpha Male with Uriah Faber. And there he has developed tremendous wrestling prowess. But there's not going to be a ton of wrestling in here because if it is, it'll be Yadong on top. No, this fight comes down to whether Figueiredo's coming here to win or survive. In his last few fights, he's come to survive, and they're boring fights, and that's what this could be. Yadong is coming to finish Figueiredo, make no mistake about it. This is all about the Yadong finish. That's what the design of the whole card is about. That's what Yadong wants. Will Figgy acquiesce? I don't know. Looking at the total, doesn't look like he's gonna. 4.5 under minus 120.
Under is minus 105. Over 4.5 is minus 125.
I think Figgy and I think Yadong inside the distance would be something to consider, but it's not the way I went because I'm conservative. So what did I do? I took Yadong minus the 600. So leg 1, Pavlovich, minus 600. Leg 2, Yadong, minus 600. Leg 3, Alex Pereira, minus 110 in the White House card.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 1-unit bet. So I'm just planning on having these first two come in. Pereira's minus 110. The 3-team parlay pays, I don't remember what it was. I put it out on the podcast, and I don't remember the numbers, but we'll tell you. It's plus something.
It's a plus number.
It's a plus number, and it's on the podcast, so it's not like I'm going to fudge what the number is. So my goal is to use this card, use those two heavy chalks just to get a couple of snoozer wins. And then I go into Pereira as a big, huge underdog, and then I got options. I can come back on Gane 1 unit and either win the difference between Gane and where I have Pereira or win nothing. Well, you mean I can have a no-risk bet? I can either win or not lose? That ain't so bad. Will I choose that? I don't know. Let's just try and get the first part in.
It doesn't work unless you get the first
doesn't
two
work
in there.
that way. Anyway, Song Yadong is a legit 135er.
Let me ask you about Yadong here really quick. Was his last fight O'Malley, or was that 2 fights ago?
Yes, it was O'Malley.
And he fared well in that fight.
He fared well, but lost in a close decision.
Yeah,
and
so some people thought he should have won that.
I don't know about if I did, but O'Malley's a tough cookie, and I think Yadong learned a lot, and he's learning that he can't leave it in the hands of these judges, especially the kind of fighter he is. This kid's chiseled out of marble. He's fast. He's quick. He's got good feet. He's improved every year he's been in the UFC, and he's fought some good guys. This is a showcase for Song Yadong.
Perfect. And then going back to Min Yang here, you're just worried that he's going to have another stinker of a fight.
I'm worried that if Menefield touches him, he crumbles like a freaking suit falling off a hanger.
Yeah, I didn't. When I was talking about that earlier on the heavyweight fight, I forgot that Min Yang was up next. So when you said that, I was like, oh, that's the guy that was terrible last time.
Oh,
at home in China too, like you said, it was a Chinese fight, and you were supposed to just light him up, and even afterwards.
We had Walker at what 4 plus 400 or 4 1/4. It was just too easy.
Yeah, and it's just like, what? So it's just interesting when guys get home fights, man. You think you'd come in more hyped and ready to go and want to light it up. And it's just like, man, you got to wake up a little bit from that side. So it's an exciting card. It's just early morning fighting. So wake up early or whenever you get up, 6, 7. Turn it on here as well. I can tell you the main one here is 6:45 a.m. our time and Saturday morning. So,
but I come back with EV from the park. We go to Granada Park, and she gets in the water and chases ducks, and we feed the ducks Cheerios, and then have our walk, and then go home. I'll stop and get a latte at Starbucks, and I'll be camped out watching fights in the early morning, having the fights early, and then
I love morning fights.
I'm not sure if I think there's Hockey Friday, so there wouldn't be Saturday. So I'll have
Well.
to figure out horse racing or something.
Well,
Keep
that's
me
the thing.
busy.
Well, yeah, there might not be much more after that, but
No,
yeah,
we're running
it's
out of hockey.
29th, so tomorrow night. So yeah, then they would play Sunday again.
Before we
after
know
that,
it, it's going to be June, and I'm going to be waiting for the Warren Sharp NFL
Yeah.
study.
to get into
I
that.
just found I didn't bring them.
He's starting to put. Now he's not putting a whole bunch of stuff out. But he's starting to put
He's
some
leaking
stuff out.
and
Yeah.
he's getting more popular. More people are finding out about that. But here's what I count on. I count on me and very few others reading 550
It's a
pages
lot of
cover to
information.
cover.
I read the
And
interesting
do.
things. Yeah.
I take the whole month of July to do it. It doesn't take me the whole month.
Yeah.
I do about 4 teams a day, knock them all down. The key is finding a NFL team-by-team schedule that is printable, that gives you the opportunity to make I'm a make notes guy.
Oh, he's got them, folks. Yeah, I mean, you can see that folder there that he has on his desk that he was just rifling
I have
through
every
and-
single team printed out because
Just what he does on the UFC stuff. Do you computerize that afterwards?
the
so you have it on
UFC
computer?
stuff is. I have my database is computerized, so I can
Because I mean,
pull
you got to
up
keep track of a lot of fighters over the.
not only 706
and
fighters.
some don't
but
fight for 2 years
height,
between
weight,
them. And,
birthday. You know, if they get too old, there's a website, UFC Roster Watch on Twitter,
Oh,
and they tell you who
they
comes
cut.
and who goes. So I don't put the new ones on until I have to put them on a fight card. But the ones that go, I keep because
Get rid of them.
I don't want to have 800 names in my damn database.
You're scrolling down like, where's
Oh,
that
it's
name at?
brutal.
Where's that name
No, they
at?
showed me now. All I go to the square and just put in like Smith.
Start
and
it, it
at
comes up.
SMI, I get all the SMIs there. I have no clue about how Excel
Yeah,
works.
and just the way the UFC is expanding, like you said, a lot of Chinese fighters, which we don't see a lot. Those guys don't always come out here to fight in this side. They fight on that side of the world, kind of a
Well,
deal.
the Paramount's allowing that to happen now, and obviously these fights are going to be at prime time out there, as it should be. We should have to be the ones on.
Yeah,
Now,
I
if
used
it's
to make fun of that when they go to Australia and then they'd be fighting it. It's 8 p.m. our time or whatever, and then there it's 5 in the morning. It's
yeah,
like,
but Australia is different because they speak our language and we're interested, and so that's got to be compromised a little. Although the last one was like that,
they did that. Yeah,
but
overnight.
a fight like Macau, they're not going to hurt themselves by putting it on at 1 a.m. because the ratings probably won't be that much different.
5 billion people in China that
There
could
you
be
are.
tuning in for their national heroes.
They're
out there
fishing where the
fighting.
fishes are.
Exactly. And they want to be in that market.
Yep.
That is one thing to consider. Any of these go to decisions and they're close. That is something to consider this week.
Oh, you
because
have to. Yes.
UFC wants Chinese heroes in that market. So pay attention to that. Not forget about the bias there. Just the UFC wanting that to happen as well.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
it is an amazing thing how you try to do that from the national side of
You
things.
just got to be aware of these things. You just
Yep.
gotta
It's a
be
big
aware.
weekend, Lou. It's gonna be
Huge
fun.
weekend. We got
All
a
right.
lot going on. Then next week, we'll be back here talking about the regionals in College World Series, the Stanley Cup final, as well. The White House card that'll be the following week
Yep.
in June. So that's going to have some interesting.
Yeah, that's
matchups.
coming up quick.
I will hope to be holding a Pereira ticket well above market price that we can talk about then.
Yeah, and with this parlay,
Yes.
so you're talking about, yep. So, you got that out there, folks. So pay attention to that. Don't forget About Business podcast. And I apologize. You said it'll be out sometime tonight.
No,
or in the
it'll
morning.
be
I
out
mean,
sometime Friday morning.
tomorrow. So I keep thinking today's Friday.
I mean,
I gotta
it
come
could
back
be
tomorrow.
more midday.
So perfect. So pay attention to that as well. They're on the sites. And folks, Lou will be back next week as well. We'll be back tomorrow, 8 o'clock. Come and join us as well. Share us with your friends. TME Media AZ on YouTube, folks, is where you can find it. It's live and, of course, on demand as well. And Robert says, I think he uses Uncle Lou GPT to keep the UFC fighters also. Are you saying Uncle Lou's AI is what you're saying?
I use GPT for a lot of things. I haven't used it for fighter stats yet, but
Information.
oftentimes I miss leg reach, and the only place you can get that is UFC.com. So I may try Chat GPT.
It's been
That's
wrong.
actually
You got to
no.
pay attention because I've done that before. It's like a shortcut, and it's been wrong. And then I look into it, and I'm like, oh, that's not even close to being right. So you do kind of have to double check it still to this point. But Lou will be back next week. We'll be back tomorrow morning, folks. Pit stops out there right now as well. We'll see you tomorrow, everyone. Have a great afternoon.